Some good news coming out this week in Centerville Elks. They have jumped from 7th to 5th in the Division 1. Okay, they need to jump that one more position. The way the point system works out, it's kind of confusing, but a basic rundown. To score primary points, you win the game. Every game you win against the Division 1 team, which is all the teams that the Elks play, you pick up 6 points. Beyond that, there's secondary points. Every team you beat, you pick up their points also. The Troy game hurt us a lot. Troy did lose their first 2 games, didn't have a whole lot of points in the beginning of the season, but have a weak league and are going to pick up the rest of their points for the rest of the season. It really hurts the Elks. Not everything off. We've covered points and everything. I'm curious what you have to say about tonight's game.
Well, the Elks definitely have a good chance to win tonight. They've played very, very strongly in the last few weeks, and I wouldn't doubt them letting up one bit here tonight against the Beavercreek Beavers. This is another big WL match, and if the Elks have any hopes, as you just said just a moment ago, of going on in the tournament, they're going to have to most likely win out the rest of the season and hopefully win big in all of their games to try and get as many points in the point system to get them as far up in the tournament as they can.
Exactly. That loss to Troy really did hurt the Elks. Tonight and the rest of the season for the Elks could be very important to whether or not they could make that playoff bracket, and they're really hoping this year because this is the year they're tough. Jason Griffith picked up the ball in the kickoff. Decent run back, ended up tripping, and looks like he slid. Like, I don't even know if he tripped or slid. He slid forward, but it looked like he just got his cleats stuck in the ground and then fell backwards on about the 36-yard line of the Centerville Elks territory.
As Hawk brings his unit back out onto the field for the first time tonight, Griffith in motion to the near side of the field. The ball given to Griffith. Griffith fumbles the ball and he quickly dives on it behind the line of scrimmage. There's going to be a loss of 2 yards for the Elks on the play. Griffith and Hawk having a little bit of trouble on the exchange, and Griffith let that one fall to the turf.
Not a good way for the Elks to start out the game tonight. These little mistakes can hurt them in these games. Last week, 95 yards and penalties throughout the game. Elks cannot have these little mistakes.
Carpenter goes in motion to the far side of the field. Hawk steps back, hands the ball off to Ray Houston, who tries to run it right up to go to the Beavercreek defense, and refusing to go down, gets about 4 yards on the play. He's out to the Centerville Elk 39-yard line. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 8 for your Centerville Elks as they line up with 2 wideouts, one on each side of the field. On the backfield, that is Ray Houston wearing the number 21 as Jason Griffith goes into motion for the Elks. Hawk steps back, fakes the handoff, fires a pass over the middle of the field to a wide open J.D. Kennard. Kennard makes a catch at the 48-yard line, quickly brought down by the Beavercreek defense. Number 80, Doug Burns for the Beavers, making a stop just inside Beaver territory. So a good start there for the passing game for the Elks.
Are you looking for some good tunes during your homecoming adventure? If you are, Tyler and Adam will be serving you up all your music needs at 6 p.m. homecoming night. So on your homecoming adventure, tune in to WCWT 101.5.
As Hawk has Griffith in motion, and the ball is handed off to Houston, or to Carpenter, Houston, and he's out on the near sideline, and he gets just enough for the first down. He's brought down at about the Beavercreek 36-yard line. So Houston and Hawk doing a very good job right there on that play. Hawk confusing me a little bit on who he gave the ball to, and probably left the Beavercreek defense somewhat bewildered on that play also.
Hawk doing an excellent job of that this year, just, really confusing a lot of people. Ben Ailes on the field right now, just coming out. Wants to put on a show again this week. Thinks he's going to get a lot more offensive time.
The Elks line up with 2 wide out to the far side of the field. Hawk steps back in the pocket, fires a pass out to the far side sideline, just out of the reach of the Elk receiver. It looked like he almost brought it in, but it's just going to be out of the reach of number 88, Willie McLean, who was standing out about the 30-yard line. So an incomplete pass for the Elks. That's Hawk's first incomplete pass of the night. He is 1 of 2 tonight.
It was a little bit overthrown. Willie had the dive. It was just in and out of his hands, but it was good effort by the Elk offense there.
As the Elks line up in the wishbone formation, Griffith goes into motion. Hawk steps back in the pocket, looking out to the near side sideline, and he's being chased out of the pocket, running out to the far side of the field, and finally stops and fires a pass over the middle to number 15, J.D. Kennard. Kennard makes the catch at the 15-yard line in the end zone for a score for your Centerville Elks. So the Elks starting their passing game off very, very well this evening. Hawk was a little bit pressured there, had to run to the far side of the field, stopped and made a good pass to Kennard, who was running at about the 15-yard line, made the catch and tried it in the end zone for another score, or for a score for the Elks.
Good job by Hawk there to work under pressure and get the job done. Maddie, I like how you keep saying this another, like, you know, we've never stopped from last week. It's amazing. These Elks score so often. It's big continuation.
As Nugent's going to come out onto the field for the Elks to attempt the extra point. Hawk will be holding. And Nugent connected on all of his point after attempts last week as he boots another one up and through the upright. So Mike Nugent puts the Elks up by a score of 7-0. Fancy. You can find anything, just about anything about the Elks football program on elksfootball.com, so check it out on the World Wide Web. And Mike Nugent's going to line up to kick this one away for the Elks. And he sends a nice end-over-end kick all the way back to the Beavercreek 6-yard line, fielded there by number 7, and he is breaking out to the far side of the field, barely tripped up, missed another tackle. He's still on his feet on the far side, finally driven out of bounds at the 28-yard line. So not a bad run there by Justin Newland for the Beavers.
Mike Nugent doing an excellent job of what I think he does second best to what he does on the field kicking-wise, is he's not afraid to get up there and just plow somebody over. Mike Nugent, the man pushing the ball runner out of bounds there, excellent job by Mike Nugent, not scared to get up there in the face of the returner.
As the Beavers line up with one in the backfield, one split out to the near side of the field, Aaron Lawrence leading this Beaver offense as number 40 goes into motion. Lawrence rolling out to the far side sideline, being pursued by the Elk defense, and he throws a pass out of bounds, out of the reach of Keel Fisher. That's going to fall an incomplete pass. The Elk defense doing a good job of pressuring him and following him as he went out of bounds on the far side sideline.
9:53 left here in the first quarter. Your Centerville Elks are up 7-0. Brings up a 2nd down and 10 situation for the Beavercreek Beavers.
And the Elk defense looking very, very good on that last play, as about 4 or 5 linemen in pressuring Aaron Lawrence to go out of bounds on the far side sideline. So we're going to be looking for that all night from the Elks as the Beavers line up with 2 split out, 1 on each side of the field, as Lawrence takes one quick step back in the pocket and throws a rocket out to the far side sideline, but that is out of the reach of number 81, Greg Burnett, as Lawrence kind of underthrew him right there. Burnett looking for something a little bit more out in front of him, had to stop and try and come back and make the catch.
To be wined and dined over the radio, listen to the Ladies' Men every Saturday, noon to 3 on WCWT 101.5 FM.
And the Elk defense not doing a bad job right now tonight, forcing 2 incomplete passes so far in the game as Lawrence pitches out to number 24 for the Beavers. He is quickly hit by Jason Griffith out on the 31-yard line. It's going to be a gain of about 2 yards on the play. It's going to bring up a 4th and 8, and we're going to look for the Beavers to punt it away on this one.
Yeah, they're bringing out the kicking team right now. Jason Griffith going back deep for the Elks to return this one.
Griffith had a big game last week, as he had weeks before. He's been consistently returning kicks for 10, 20 plus yards, and he even had a run back a few weeks ago as the kick is almost blocked by the Elk special teams. AJ Hawk in there almost getting a piece of it as the kick goes straight up in the air and lands still in Beaver territory. So the Elk defense almost coming away with a blocked punt there. AJ Hawk, nice hustle to try and tip that ball.
AJ Hawk, outstanding player, on his way to a 3rd week in a row Defensive Player of the Week.
And it's really going to help the Elks out as they lost from last year, number 17, Casey Kapuska, out of the middle in the inside linebacker position. It's going to help to have someone who's going to step up and play that position well. As Griffith goes in motion to the near side of the field, Hawk takes a snap, drops back, gives the ball to Houston. Houston trying to find some running room on the far side sideline, and he's quickly driven out of bounds by the Beaver defense at the 40-yard line of Beavercreek. That's going to bring up a second.
104 yards, I believe it was posted this morning in the newspaper. He's 3rd place in the area, right behind Ryan Brewer and one other running back that has just over 1,000 yards.
And the ball given to Griffith. Griffith trying to find some room out on the near side sideline. He's grabbed by the shoulder pad and quickly brought out of bounds at the Beavercreek 35-yard line, but he's going to get just enough for the 1st down. So the Elks move the chains once again with 8:57 remaining in this first quarter. Any kind of customizing that you would like done to your car, as well as far as performance and the looks of your car, as Carpenter goes into motion. The ball is handed to Ray Houston. Houston trying to run right up the gut of the Beavercreek defense, finds a hole on the line, and he's brought down by number 80 once again. Doug Burns making the tackle for the Beavers. Houston finding some room right up the middle of the field and moves the chains once again for the Elks.
Houston doing an outstanding job, as you said, to find some room. Not much room to work with, but he made something of that play. It was an excellent job by Ray Houston.
And Hawks going to have 2 wideouts, one split out on each side of the field. J.D. Kennard on the near side. Willie McLean out on the far side of the field. Houston in the backfield with Carpenter in the tight end position. As Hawk goes under center, he's calling a shot. Carpenter goes into motion. Hawk rolling out to the far side of the field. Looks like he's going to keep himself. Try to cut back up the middle of the field. He makes his way into the end zone for a touchdown for the Centerville Elks. Hawk and Carpenter on the outside decided to cut right back up the middle of the D and made his way in for a gain of about, I believe, 16 yards on the play. Made another score for the Elks, so the Elks go up by a score of 13-0 over the Beavers.
Their single game scoring record, that was a 65 points, and they ended up bringing it up to 70. I don't know if they're going for a second time here or what.
As Nugent's kick is up and good, so Nugent getting all that one, put another one through the uprights for the Centerville Elks. That puts them up by a 10-yard line, so Nugent's going to have to run back up and put this one back up on the tee as it was blown off by this chilly wind. It's a little bit chilly tonight. Not a bad night for football, though. A little cool, not too hot, which definitely helps out either side when playing this game. As Nugent's going to line up to take this kick for the Elks, and he has another long kick. Going to go and be fielded by number 7 for the Beavers, Justin Newland. Newland trying to find some room right up the middle of the field as he's quickly tackled by each and every one of the Elk special team players right there, except for Mike Nugent, who had to run the length of the field. He could not quite get in on the tackle, but the Elk special teams unit looking very, very strong right there, not allowing Justin Newland any room to run with, and that's going to bring up a 1st and 10 for the Beavers on their own 16-yard line.
Listen to Saturday morning cartoons every Saturday from 9 to noon. Stacy and Kyle will be playing the best in modern and classic rock. Tune in every Saturday on 101.5 The Beef.
As Lawrence takes the snap, hands it right up the gut of the Centerville defense. Griffith with the tackle at the Beavercreek 24-yard line. Not a bad run there by Keel Fisher for the Beavers. Fisher finding a hole on the defensive line for the Centerville Elks and getting a gain of 7 yards on the play. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 3 with 8 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
Listen to the best every Saturday 3 to 6 with Mike and Shane as they play the best of the best classic and modern rock here on WCWT.
As Lawrence going to line up with one split out far side of the field as the ball's handed up right together. The Centerville defense, right there to wrap up the Beavers, and that's going to be a gain of about maybe a yard on the play. Maybe not even that. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 3 for the Beavers with a 7:30 remaining.
This is very important for the Beavercreek Beavers to get this 3 yards to get the first down. It's crucial to the rest of this half for them. They need to keep their defensive players on the sidelines for as long as they can. Get them some rest. This Elk offense is going to run all over them if they don't get caught up.
As Mike Longstreet goes into motion for the Beavers, Lawrence drops back in the pocket. He's quickly hit as he releases the ball, almost picked off by A.J. Hawk right over the middle of the field. And the Elk defense doing a good job right there to quickly wrap up Lawrence. Looked like Chris Mitchell and another Elk defensive player right there to make the tackle or the hit on Lawrence as he was releasing that ball.
The referee seemed to be just out of the play there, diving kind of away from Hawk as he was diving towards the ball. And it was a good job of the referee to get out of the way there. That could have caused a lot of problems.
As there's a fairly good kick, Griffith's going to field this about the Centerville 44-yard line. He's quickly pressured as he catches the ball, and the Beavercreek special teams unit going to bring him down at the Centerville Elk 42-yard line. So not a bad kick there by the Beavers. The first one almost blocked by A.J. Hawk. And so the Elks are going to start with good field position once again with this their 3rd drive of the game and the first quarter with 6:54 remaining. The Elks are up by a score of 14-0. Early on in this game, that's something that we've seen time and time again from the Elks, especially last week when they went up 70-0 over the Fairbairn Skyhawks. So Hawk leads his team back out on the field, and he has Nick Redlin in motion. The ball handed up to Houston. Houston trying to find some room, and he bounces off one player. He's out to the near side sideline. He's got some room to run with. He's got 2 men to meet out on the near side sideline. He's at the 10-yard line, the 5, and he makes his way in the end zone for a touchdown for the Centerville Elks. Houston with another long run. That's going to be about a 56-yard run for Ray Houston. Bouncing off a few players there in the middle of the field. Finally made his way out to the near side sideline. Had 2 men to beat, just had a little bit more speed than they did. Almost got knocked out of bounds at 5.
Fumbles or no interceptions so far in this game. A couple close calls, but the Elks offense seems to be stepping it up and making up for that.
And Nugent's attempt for the extra point is up and good. So Nugent going 3 of 3 as of now in the game to put the Elks up by a score of 21-0 with 6:40. Nugent getting a lot of playing time so far in this game, and he's going to kick this one away for the Elks. Sends another good kick out to the Beavercreek 5-yard line, fielded there by Shannon Taylor as he tries to find some room up the middle of the field. Breaks one tackle. He has one man to beat. That's Nugent. Nugent brings him down at the Beavercreek at 33-yard line. Nugent, not one of those kickers that are going to shy away from the tackle, went right in there and brought him down as he was the last line of defense for the Elks on that play. So good job by Nugent, not only to put that ball all the way back to the 5-yard line, but to also come up and make the tackle for the Elks.
Nugent not only listed as a kicker on our roster here, but as a running back also. Tough guy, ready to get in your face. Not a real big guy, but he's tough.
As Lawrence has one man split out to the near side of the field, turns hands the ball, or fakes the ball to Keel Fisher, passes over the middle, complete to number 23, Delaney with the coverage, trying to get to him, and finally just trips him up at the Centerville Elk 21-yard line. So a big play there for the Beavers. That was number 23, Chris Grant, with the reception from Aaron Lawrence. Lawrence not doing a bad job right there, firing that pass right over the middle. Delaney was on the outside, not on the inside of Grant, and just could not get to the ball.
That was just, let's put it this way, Delaney got purely burnt on that play, and that's one of the first times we've seen that this year out of the Elks defense. He wasn't right there with him.
As the ball's handed up right up the gut of the Centerville defense to number 35, Keel Fisher. It's going to be good for a couple yards in the play, going to bring up a 2nd and about 7 for the Beavers with 6:03 remaining in this first quarter of play.
I don't mean to take away from Delaney on that. He did do an excellent job to trip him up, but that's one of the first times you've seen that big of a gap between an Elk defender and opposing team offensive player. That's just, we haven't seen that this year. This team's too tough to do that kind of stuff.
That's right. Coming off a huge game last week, the defense especially had a big game, scoring several touchdowns against Fairborn. As Lawrence is going to drop back in the pocket, throw a lofted pass over to Grant. It's going to be in and out of the hands of Grant in the end zone. Ryan Florkey there for the Elks on the coverage, and that almost was a constant mistake for the Elks, as Chris Grant just could not reach out his arms far enough to bring that one in. That pass from Lawrence kind of just took 2 steps back in the pocket and lofted that one up to the near side of the end zone. So in and out of the hands, the Beavers only have to march 20 yards to put this one in the end zone for a score, so the Elks are going to be looking to hold them back.
Yeah, this is the first time the Elk defense has shown a let-up against any of the WL teams yet this year.
As Lawrence takes the snap, fakes the handoff, fires a pass out to the far sideline, in and out of the hands of Mike Longstreet. That's going to be an incomplete pass. It's going to bring up a 4th and 7 for the Beavers. So we're going to have to see if Beavercreek perhaps has a kicker that can put it that far through the uprights, or if the Beavers are going to have to go for it or punt this one away. We don't know as of yet.
I have not seen a personnel change on the field yet. It looks like they might just go for it. They might not have a real strong kicker. You know, a lot of high school teams don't have the kicking ability. I think Centerville has. They've gotten lucky, got the players up there. Centerville, as you know, strong soccer area, strong soccer teams. You know, we get a lot of the players off of that. And most teams don't have that kind of a strong kicking area.
And the Beavers are going to go for it on a 4th and 7 as Lawrence takes a snap, rolling out to the near side of the field, fires a pass over the head of Chris Grant. And that was a nice stop there by the Centerville Elk defense. Number 52, Adam Hazenfield, to make the stop for the Elks, hitting Grant as he was trying to go up and make that grab for. As Hawk lines up with 2 wideouts, 1 on each side of the field. J.D. Kennard split out to the far side. William McLean on the near side. Ailes goes into motion. Hawk takes a step back in the pocket, fires a pass in and out of the hands of Nick Redlin. Redlin diving, trying to make a one-handed grab at the Centerville Elk 35-yard line. Hawk led him just a little bit too much. It looks like also that Hawk got hit on the play as he was releasing the ball.
And that was an excellent job by Redlin to stick his hand out there, try to make a desperation catch, just a little out of his reach, but he was wide open if he would have gotten his hands on that ball, just a little thrown out of his way.
That's right, no one within 10 yards of him as Huston gets the ball, and he's quickly brought down after a gain of 3 yards on the play. It's going to bring up 4 yards on the play. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 6 for the Elks. It's 5:10 remaining. The Elks, we might see the Elks move the ball a little slower down the field now, sticking to their running game a little bit more, although their passing game has looked strong thus far, also along with their running game as Ailes goes into motion. Hawk takes a snap, rolling out the near side of the field. He's quickly hit behind the line of scrimmage by the Beavercreek defense. Matt Rose to make the stop for the Beavers, as well as Zach Van. So that's going to put the Elks back a good 6-7 yards. It's going to bring up a 4th and 12 with 4:41 remaining.
Maybe that offensive drive by the Beavers was just enough to give the defense a little bit of a break there. They came out strong, the Beaver defense coming out and showing the Elks that they're not going to score on every drive.
And Hawk in the shotgun position, or excuse me, they're going to kick this one away. I'm sorry. That is a 4th and 11 for the Elks, as it looks like Kennard's going to do the kicking for the Elks. He sends a long kick to Justin Newland. Newland fields it at the Beaver 44-yard line, trying to find some room to run to, and he's brought down there by the Centerville Elks special teams. Number 77, Spencer Schrader to make the tackle for the Elks.
Saturday afternoon, your activities is the word I'm looking for. But 12-3, Spencer Schrader and Willie McLean, 101-5.
That's right, and the Beavers are going to line up with 2 wideouts, one on each side of the field. Lawrence takes a couple steps back in the pocket, fires a pass out to the near side of the field, and the Beaver receiver quickly wrapped up after a gain of 5 yards on the play. That was number 91, I believe, for the Beavers, Mike Stahl. And not a bad play there by the Beavers as Lawrence took just a little step out back in the pocket and fired a pass out to the near side.
Listen to WCWT every day between 3 and 4 to hear Marissa and Allison play the best music for your drive home.
And the Beavers are going to be looking to march 45 yards down the field this time to try and put a score in against the Elks as the Beavers line up. There's one wide out on the far side of the field. Lawrence pitches back to Keel Fisher. Fisher finds a little bit of room and he's just barely tripped up by the Elk defense. Griffith just grabbing at his ankles, and it looks like there's a flag down on the play, possibly a holding call on the Elks. So we're going to be looking for, and it's going to be against the Beavers. The Beavers could have used that one. That would have given them just enough for the first down. And costly mistake there by the Beavercreek offense, giving up a big play when they could have converted that and possibly gone farther down the field against the Elks.
Number 34, A.J. Hawk. Bit of an equipment problem here. Looks like a shoe problem. He looks like he just got his heel caught by another person's toe.
It's no problem. A.J. Hawk could play through that, I would assume. He's a tough player. It's only a freshman out there starting at the inside linebacker position for the Elks. As looks like the Elks are going to show a little bit of a blitz. And Lawrence takes a couple steps back in the pocket, fires out to the far side sideline, in and out of the hands of Mike Stahl. Stahl trying to make the grab just a little bit too far out of his reach as Terry Tamaska and J.D. Kennard out on the coverage for the Elks.
Terry Tamaska back from a big injury the last couple weeks. He is playing under a lot of pain. I know he chipped his hip bone. Doctors told him basically it was going to bother him one way or the other, that he couldn't do anything until after season was over. He's toughed it out through as much at practice as he can. He's been playing he's playing a little bit of the game here. He's not going to give up on his senior season.
That's right. Tamaska showing the never give up attitude of the Elks as Lawrence is chased way out of the pocket and quickly hit by Dan Braner as he was releasing the ball way behind the line of scrimmage. That's a good 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage. That Braner just put Lawrence into the turf. Braner showing no mercy on that last hit. It's going to bring up a 4th and 9 for the Beavers. So we're going to look for them to punt this one away to the Elks as number 45, the Wonder Boy Jason Griffith, standing back at the Elk 20-yard line to receive this kick from the Beavers, and got stopped on his last try, but I wouldn't see. Oh, and that is blocked by A.J. Hawk. Hawk making the block. Chris Mitchell picking up the ball at the 30-yard line, has nobody around him. He's going to ramble into the end zone for a score for the Centerville Elks. Hawk came very close two punts ago, almost blocking that one, and got all of that last punt as Chris Mitchell picked that one up on the 30-yard line, ran it back for 30 yards for a score for the Centerville Elks. So the Elks not getting the points on the offense on the last drive, decided to let their special teams pick it up and put another score up on the board.
Excellent job. We just got done talking about how the Oak defense hadn't shown a whole lot of their scoring power tonight, which they've done the past couple of weeks. Last week scoring 14 points in just the first quarter. Jason Mitchell, Chris Mitchell's older brother, on the sidelines, just laughing about that one. Excellent job by Chris to pick that ball up and get it in for a touchdown.
That's right, and Nugent puts another one through the uprights as he is 4 for 4 on the night.
Putting it from 7 to 10 for great tunes. Pure listening satisfaction on 101.5 The Beef.
As Nugent sends a low kick bouncing off the turf as Shannon Taylor fields it at about the 15-yard line, trying to find some room to run to. It's quickly wrapped up as he crosses the 25-yard line, going to be out to the 26-yard line. So the Beavers will start this drive in the last remaining minutes of the first quarter on their own 26-yard line with 2:42 remaining.
Once again, I'd like to congratulate the King and Queen candidates for the homecoming King and Queen candidates. I misplaced some words there. Seniors, the senior girls, Madeline Buck, Melissa Hine, Lizzie Moore, and Rachel Sharp. The boys, Matt Kasanovich, Jason Mitchell, Nate Reed, and Sujan Reddy.
That's right, the guys will be announced, or the king will be announced tomorrow night at 11 o'clock as the ball is handed off to Mike Longstreet. Street trying to go right up the gut of the Centerville defense. Not quite a good idea on that play, as just about everyone on the Elk defense standing right there waiting for him to, put him to the ground after a gain of no yards on the play.
That's the Elk defense that we've seen in the past couple weeks, standing right there, always calling the play before it happens, covering the man that they need to be covering. We just had a little flaw in one little drive there, and Beavers ran down the ball, but it's all right. They're back now. They're playing well. That's the kind of Elk defense we'd like to see. As
Lawrence takes a snap and pitches out to Keel. Keel quickly hit by the Centerville Elk defense. Joe Bood, Chris Mitchell in on the stop for the Elks, and Mitchell laid quite a hit on Keel Fisher. Fisher driven back on his back onto the turf.
Mitchell is just wound up this evening. It clicked. It just clicked with him. He's a madman on the field, and that's all his brother says. He just all it has to do is kick him in the head, and that's when it clicks. And he's a madman when he's playing well.
That's right, Mitchell. A little excited. He ran back 30 yards for a touchdown on the last punt block, and this time laying quite a hit on Keel Fisher in the backfield, dropping him for a loss of 3 yards on the play. As Lawrence says, 2 wideouts, one each side of the field, drops back in the pocket, looking out to the far side of the field. Is quickly pressured, brought down behind the line of scrimmage by the Centerville Elk defensive line. They brought him down about the 20-yard line, so it's going to bring up a 4th and almost 16 for the Beavers with 1:12 remaining in this first quarter of play.
Elks football on 101.5 is brought to you by the One Stop Auto Salon. The One Stop Auto Salon is located on State Route 48 behind the Women's Air and Space Museum in the heart of Centerville, Ohio.
That's right. Any type of customizing that you would need done to your car, performance, or just looks, just give them a call at 438-8023. As there's a long high kick out of the near side of the field. Griffith running to catch that one is going to bounce at the Centerville 41-yard line and just roll to the 39-yard line there, where it is downed by Mike Stahl of Beavercreek. And so the Elks will start with good field position once again in this first quarter with 40 seconds remaining on this clock right now. And the Elks could possibly put another one in before the end of the quarter. If not, they'll just take their time, run out the clock, and look what they can do in the second quarter to start off that quarter well with a score or something of that sort. And Hawk leading his team back out on the field as Kennard is split out wide to the near side of the field. Houston in the backfield as Ailes goes into motion to the near side of the field. Hawk takes a snap, gives the ball to Houston. Houston trying to run on the near side sideline. Picks up one and is finally brought down just as he reaches the 50-yard line for the Elks. On the stop right there, Zach Van for the Beavers. Just getting him before he hit midfield, and that should be enough for the Elks for a first down. However, the officials are going to spot it back at the Centerville 48-yard line, so it's not going to be enough. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 1 with 33 seconds remaining. As Hawks under center and has Ailes in motion. Ailes going to take the ball on a counter, tripped up behind the line of scrimmage by number 32 of the Beavercreek defense, and that is Caleb Pulliam. And Ailes lost his footing there behind the line of scrimmage and was brought down for a loss of a yard on the play.
Got to be frustrating for Ben to have that. He's finally getting the offensive time he's been looking for. The last couple weeks he's been picking up the defensive side, and to have something like that happen, it's just completely incidental. Trip up on the play, it's got to be frustrating.
And the Elks are in the wishbone formation as time continues to wind down on the clock. And the ball given to Houston. Houston trying to run right up the gut of the Centerville, or the Beaver defense right there. Gets more than enough for the first down. Gets all the way down to the Beaver 43-yard line. So the Elks are going to move the chains once again at the end of the first quarter. The Elks are up by a score of 28-0. You are listening to Centerville Elks football, brought to you by the One Stop Auto Salon here on 101.
What's coming on soon? I'll show you.
All right, we are back out here at Centerville Football Stadium at the Centerville High School, where the Elks are up by a score of 28-0. Hawks going to pitch it out to Redlin on the near side of the field. Redlin trying to come back up the middle of the field, brought down at the 39-yard line of the Beavercreek Beavers. It's going to be good for a gain of 4 yards on the play. Going to bring up a 2nd and a 6 for the Elks with 11:48 remaining in this first half. The way the Elks looking very, very strong on both sides of the ball tonight.
Be sure to listen to WCWT every Monday from 7 to 10 as the Big Bad Beefcakes bring you all the best classic and modern rock, latest sports updates, and ever-popular Big Bad Beef Chick of the evening.
That's right. It's quite a popular event on Monday nights as Hawk steps back in the pocket. He's quick. He wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. Going to be a loss of about 4 yards on the play. The Beavercreek defense there quick in on the ball to wrap him up. Looks like number 74, Matt Rose, to make the stop for the Beavers. So the Elks, that's not what they want to see. They need that protection from their offensive line to give Hawk a little bit more time so he can look downfield for his receivers.
So far this year, the Elks offensive line has shown that they can give him the time that he needs, but this past couple times, and then once again,
as Hawk is being chased way out of the pocket, the pressure applied there by the Beavers' Tim Blatz, chasing Hawk all the way out to the far side of the field, and back into Beaver territory, as that's going to bring up a 4th and 13 for the Elks. So the Elks punting it away once again. Not something that we've seen in the last couple of weeks from the Elks. J.D. Kennard not getting, many kicks off in the last couple of weeks, as the Elks offense has converted almost every single time.
Scoring-wise, the Elks seem to still be on top of their game, up 28-0 over Beavercreek. They just don't seem to have be keeping the ball quite as long.
And Kennard just barely gets the kickoff. Chris Grant almost making the stop for the Youngsters. Justin Newland and signals for the fair catch at about the Beavercreek 13-yard line. So the Beavers will start the 1st and 10 with 10:46 remaining in this first half of play on their own 16-yard line.
If you're looking for the best rock and roll, tune in every Friday at 4 to Beef Stew, where Adam and Mike will mix up the best ingredients into their beef stew on 101.5 The Beef.
Beef stew. That's on before every football game on Friday nights, and I think you should give a little listen to, because it is quite a fine program right here on the Beef, as Lawrence takes the snap, hands the ball off to Keel Fisher. Fisher finds a hole in the offensive line and gets a gain of about 4 yards on the play, so not a bad gain there by the Beavercreek Beavers, as Keel Fisher will be getting a lot of work in the backfield for the Beavers tonight. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 6 for the Beavers with 10:29 remaining in this first half of play. And Lawrence telling his team what they're going to do on this next play, as the Elk defense lines up. Once again, the Beavers going to line up with 1 wideout on the far side of the field, 2 in the backfield. That is Mike Longstreet and Keel Fisher, as Lawrence under center making the call. He fumbles the snap, and the Elk defense quickly in there to almost wrap that up. We're not sure who has the ball just yet, and some of the Elk players signaling that they have it. And I believe Lawrence regained possession. No, he did not.
Football.
The Elks are going to gain possession of that ball. Lawrence fumbling the snap a little bit, trying to dive on it as quickly as he could, but the Elk defense a little bit quicker, 1 step quicker right in on the ball. So they forced a fumble here. We're going to see if the Elk offense can capitalize on that mistake.
Excellent field position to pick that up. I believe Ben Ailes was the man on the bottom of the pile there. They ended up coming up with the ball. They're going to be on the about the 16-yard line there. If the Elks really need to put this in, this is going to show that they can really get the job done on short field positions like this. They can't blow this kind of a situation. It's too good.
That's right. As the Elks line up in the wishbone formation with 1 wide out on the far side of the field, the ball is given to Josh Carpenter. Carpenter just barely being brought down on the Beavercreek 10-yard line. Going to be good for a gain of 6 yards, 7 yards on the play. Going to bring up a 2nd and 3 for the Elks. 9:45. Excuse me, a 2nd and 5 for the Elks. Is only good for a gain of 5 yards on the play. But the Elks offense looking very, very strong right there.
Elks Football on 101.5 is brought to you by the One Stop Auto Salon.
As the Elks line up in the same formation once again, Hawk takes the snap, gives the ball to Carpenter, trying to wave him on into the end zone. He's not getting much yardage on that play. Only good for a gain of 2 yards on the play. Going to bring up a 3rd and 3 deep in Beaver territory inside the 10-yard line. So the Elks just need 3 yards before they can try and get another 4th down, or they can go the whole 7 yards and try and get in the end zone.
This is crucial for the both sides. One way or the other, it's crucial for the Beavercreek defense to get this job done, stop the Elks, keep them from scoring. It's crucial for the Elks offense.
As Huston gets the ball right up the gut of the Beavercreek defense and refusing to go down, just made his way right in the end zone, muscled his way in there, refusing to go down, had 2 tacklers on his back. Shane Lyons trying to bring him down before he crossed the goal line, but just not enough. Huston just got in the end zone and puts the Elks up by a score of 3-4-0.
As I was saying, that was crucial. The Elks got the job done. Not as far as the points go, but as far as their confidence goes. They came out so strong the last couple plays. The last couple drives, they've been maybe a little on the weak side, but they're showing right there they can get the job done still.
Hawk to hold the kick for Nugent. Nugent 4-4 already tonight, as he sends another one good through the uprights, as it's going to bring up Bring the Elks up by a score of 35-0 with 8:53 remaining in the first half of play. The Elks, Justin Newland, Mike Longstreet, and Shannon Taylor back to receive for the Beavers as Kennard's getting ready to send this one away. If you happen to be on the World Wide Web sometime in the future, you might want to check out elksfootball.com. It's got all the stats, scores, and anything else you'd like to find out about the Elks football team right on the World Wide Web, elksfootball.com. As Newland fields the ball at the 5-yard line, he's trying to run right up the gut of the Centerville special teams, and he's brought down at the 25-yard line. That's going to give the Beavers not too bad a field position to start off this drive in the second quarter of play.
Remember to listen to Justin and John this Wednesday night from 7 to 10 for the best modern and classic rock, right here on WCWT 101.5. As
I was saying just a bit earlier, elksfootball.com, one of the few, I believe, high school football programs that have their own website. Check it out. It's a very, very good webpage. I've been on it many times myself, seen, it's proven to be very, very helpful if you want to find out something about the Elks team. As Lawrence trying to hand it off, and he's wrapped up by Dan Braner. Braner trying to be, almost pushed back there by Keel Fisher, but he took him in one arm and just would not quit. Went all the way to Lawrence and brought him down with Fisher for a loss of 5 yards on the play.
That's pure athletic ability out of Dan Braner there to drive back one player that far and to take both players out, including the quarterback, for the sack. Excellent, excellent job there by Dan Braner. He's shown that he's a very tough defensive man and a very big key to this defense for the Elks.
Griffith is showing blitz for the Elks as he's creeping up towards the line, and he, as Lawrence drops back in the pocket, lost the pass way out to the far sideline. Chris Grant can't make the grab for the Beavers. Adam Hazenfield on the coverage for the Elks. Grant a little upset, thought there should have been some sort of call as he tripped and fell at about the 50-yard line towards the end of the play. And the Elk defense was left a little bit alone right there as Griffith creeped up to try and, show a blitz right there on that last play, and it left Hazenfield all the way back by himself with Grant one-on-one.
Yeah, that was a bit of an acting job there. From what I saw, a bit of an acting job looking for the flag. It didn't look like there was much contact at all between the two of them, but he did trip up and fall. I don't know if it was his own fault or what happened there, but he was looking for a flag.
As the Elk defense come up with a big stop right there on a 3rd and 16. It's going to bring up a 4th and 16 for the Beavers as they're going to send out their 4th and 21, excuse me. The Elk defense dropping the Beavers back behind, even further behind the line of scrimmage as number 99, Ben Venable, on the field to punt this away for the Beavers as Griffith standing about the Beaver 45-yard line. A nice high kick, driving Griffith all the way back to his own 45-yard line. He's quickly pressured, avoids one tackler, looking to the near side of the field, cuts back up the middle of the field, still on his feet, has a couple men to beat. Just running out to the far sidelines, got 2 men to beat on the far side line, tries to cut back in the middle of the field, and he's tripped up at the Beavercreek 14-yard line. I'm at a loss of words right there, not being able to describe what Griffith is doing, just moving in and out of people. He had 1 man to beat. I believe that was the kicker, Ben Venable. Venable just barely tripping him up as Griffith tried a little bit of a spin move there on the 14-yard line on the far side of the field. And a nice run there by Griffith, avoiding tacklers all the way.
That was an outstanding job by Griffith. I'm like you. I was kind of lost for words. I wouldn't have ever been able to describe that. I was for sure he was going to be crushed by there was a leading man out there that was right in his face. Got around him, got around 3 or 4 other players, back upfield, cut straight back upfield. Outstanding job by Jason Griffith.
As Houston is given the ball behind the line of scrimmage, and he's quickly brought down for a gain of 1 yard on the play. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 9, I believe, depending on the spot of the ball for the Elks. The officials are going to spot that one in the same spot, so it's going to bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Elks with 6:50 remaining in this first half of play. The Elks start play score of 35-0 over the Beavercreek Beavers.
Griffith on that return showing the never give up attitude. It's their motto. They've not given up at all this season and don't plan to.
And the ball handed off right at the go to the Beaver defense, and it's going to be another no gain for the Elks, as that's going to bring up a...
There was a fumble on the play there, which I was a bit confused by, Maddie. It was recovered by Beavercreek. I wondered all of a sudden, I never saw the ball come loose. I never saw anybody dive on it, but Beavercreek Beavers recovered that fumble, and we changed sides. And the Elks blew a fabulous field position.
That's right. Tim Blatz coming up with the ball for the Beavers. Had me a little bit confused there, as well as the teams changed their personnel. Lawrence under center right now, takes a snap and fakes the handoff, rolling off to the far side of the field, being chased by the Centerville Elk defense, and he overthrows number 46, Brian Barledge. As that was kind of a desperation throw out there to the far side of the field. Lawrence being chased by a number of Elk defenders out on the far side of the field. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Beavers with 6:26 remaining.
Do you want to boogie down on Saturday nights without even leaving your house? All you have to do is tune in to 101.5 from 8 to 10 p.m. and listen to Reggae Our Way with Luke Dogg and Little Mac on 101.5 WCWT. As the Beavers line up with 2 wideouts, one on each side of the field. On the near side of the field for the Beavers is Mike Stahl. In the backfield for the Beavers as Lawrence calling his shot. Seems like he's going to change the play. And the Elks definitely showing blitz on that one. Hall takes a couple steps back in the pocket, fires a pass on the far side of the field, in and out of the hands of Chris Grant. Grant had 1 step in front of his man, Adam Hazenfield, and could not bring that one in at about the 40-yard line. Not a bad job there by Lawrence. Took just a few steps back in the pocket and lofted that pass up to Grant. Grant not being able to haul in too many passes here tonight. Centerville's defense showing a lot of blitz, putting a lot of pressure into the Beavercreek quarterback tonight, doing an excellent job trying to shut this offense down. That's right, Elks football right here on the Beef is brought to you by the One Stop Auto Salon. Give them a call, 438-8023. Let's see what they can do to improve the performance and the looks of your car. As Mike Longstreet goes into motion for the Beavers, the ball is faked to handoff. Lawrence throws a pass out to Stahl. Stahl in and out of his hand at about the 24-yard line. Brian Forkey on the coverage for the Elks. Stahl didn't have much of a chance on that one. Lawrence did a nice job of rolling out of the pocket and firing upfield, but just a little bit out of the reach of Stahl. Number 25, Brandon Peck, a junior, trying to get to the ball, and that one was tipped up, in the air. He went after it, doing a great hustling job by Brandon Peck. Not one of your typical starters for the Elks. Getting some playing time as I would imagine the Elks are going to start doing their rotation and putting in some of the younger guys. As Ben Venable standing back in his own end zone to punt this one away to number 45, Jason Griffith. And it's a nice high punt once again, driving Griffith all the way back to the Elk 41-yard line as he signals for the fair catch. And that was a 59-yard punt there from Ben Venable. Not something you see out of a high school football player. I mean, you don't even see that up in college. I mean, punting that ball away is a hard thing to do, and he did get a hold of that one, and as well as the last couple punts that he has had. Number 91, Mike Stahl, right on the way to take down Jason Griffith again, as he's done a couple times. Griffith not been under this much pressure in the back, gone back for the back for the receiving the ball. As Hawks being chased out of the pocket, fires a pass over the middle of the field to Jason Griffith. Griffith still on his feet, finally hit and brought down by the Beavercreek defense. Tim Blatz there to make the stop for the Beavers, but it's not going to be enough to stop them from getting another first down. The Elks are going to move the chains once again as they're in Beaver territory. It's going to bring up a 1st and 10 for the Elks. There's 5:56 remaining, and this first half of play, the Elks are up by a score of 35-0. As I was saying, Mike Stahl putting a lot of pressure on Griffith on that return. Griffith calling for the fair catch, maybe taking a little smart move there so he doesn't get crushed. Hawk fakes the handoff, decides to get himself, cuts back up the middle field, loses his footing and almost loses the ball. We're not sure just yet, as the officials are going to signal that one to Beavercreek, and a Hawk slipping on the turf and just losing grip on the ball. Tim Blatz to make another big stop for the Beavers. So the Elks, plagued by turnovers tonight, have already had 2 fumbles thus far in the game. Last week, the Elks' biggest problem was their penalties. 95 yards in penalties. That's an outrageous number. When the Elks start facing bigger teams such as Springfield South and Wayne, they cannot have those mistakes. Tonight, they're plagued by turnovers. Just these little fumbles. I'm not sure if Hawk couldn't decide what he wanted to do, if he just wanted to keep going or wanted to cut back, if he wanted to slide. But it looks like his feet got kind of caught up, and he just went down, and the ball went out of his arms. As Lawrence gives the ball to Fisher, Fisher hit quickly as he crossed the line of scrimmage by the Elk defense. Mike Shockey, along with A.J. Hawk, looked like Hawk laid a good hit right there on Fisher. Fisher jumps up and limping a little bit after that hit by Hawk, but it's not going to be after a gain of 3 yards on the play for the Beavers.
And on that last mistake right there by the Elk offense, Hawk just looked like he lost his footing and couldn't hold on to the ball as he went to the ground. As the Beavers line up on the one wide out, Chris Grant on the near side sideline. And the ball is given to Fisher. Once again, Fisher trying to find his way up the middle of the Centerville Elk defense and gets a gain of about 3 yards on the play. Going to bring up a third and 5 for the Beavers with 4:50 remaining.
Fisher getting most of his yards by just putting his head down and just going as fast as he can, running his legs. He's almost in a line with the ground as he's running until one of the Elk defender pushes him down. He very low to the ground on his running, and that's basically the way to get it done against the Elks. They're already so low. Doing an excellent job to get that done.
And Lawrence takes the snap, fakes the handoff, drops back in the pocket, fires a pass over the middle of the field, complete to Mike Stahl, just barely brought down by the Elk defense, but that's not going to be after he gets a first down into Elk territory. He's brought down at the 43-yard line of the Centerville Elks. Seems like a number of players, A.J. Hawk there to grab him by his ankle and finally bring him down. Good job there by Lawrence to step back in the pocket, shows composure, and fire a pass right over the middle of the field.
Are you looking for some tunes during your homecoming adventure? If you are, Tyler and Adam will be serving up your music needs at 6 p.m. on homecoming night. So on your homecoming adventure, tune in to WCWT 101.5 FM Centerville.
As Mike Stahl trotting out to the far side of the field and Chris Grant to the near side of the field for the Beavers. And Lawrence is under center, has Fisher in the backfield, fakes a handoff, and he's hit by Braner behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to bring him all the way back into Beaver territory as he is brought down at the Beaver 49-yard line. Braner wrapped him up with one arm and just decided to bring him down to the turf with him.
Braner, he is just a powerful force. He's got to be one of the biggest defensive threats, I'd have to say, in the state. I mean, every game he's been back in the quarterback's face, and he's back there almost on every play of every game.
That's right. He's a pretty big guy, standing at 6'1" and 200 pounds, and I will be willing to bet that most of that 200 pounds is muscle, and he's just taking everybody with him down to the ground tonight, as he's already had 2 sacks for the Centerville Elk defense. As Lawrence takes a snap, takes one step in the back of the pocket, fires a pass out the near far side of the field to Chris Grant. Grant bobbling it a bit, and the Elk defense almost coming up with an interception on the play. Chris Mitchell, Brandon Peck, Terry Tamaska, and A.J. Hawk also all over there on the ball trying to make that pick as Grant had a hold of it, but just, in and out of his hands, off his chest, couldn't hold on to it, and the Elks almost came up with a play right there.
Chris Mitchell, I told him as he's walking up to the field, or walking into the locker room tonight, I wanted to say his name a bunch. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe because I told him what to go do, he's doing it. Doing an excellent job playing for the Elks defense tonight. I've never seen this much out of Mitchell overall yet this season.
And Lawrence takes a snap, pitches to Fisher. Fisher being wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage by the Elk defense. A number of players in there to make the stop. Mitchell bouncing over the pack right there as he tried to get a little bit of a hit. He wanted in on the action.
He wanted me to say his name.
That's right. He wanted in on the action on that last play as a number of Elks in there to make the stop, as there is a Beavercreek offensive lineman down, something around the number of 3 state championships in a row, 3 or 4 state championships in a row, and that's not easy to do. I mean, it is a small school, and I mean, to do that time and time again in football especially is quite a task. As the Beavers are going to punt this one away, Venable back for the Beavers to punt this one away to Jason Griffith. Griffith only standing at about the 20-yard line of the Centerville Elks, but he might be driven back a few yards on this kick as Venable has quite a leg on him. And it looks like there's going to be a penalty on Beavercreek because it's going to drop him back 5 more yards, bring up a 4th and 24 with 2:44 remaining. If you're just joining us, the Elks start by a score of 35-0 with 2:38 remaining in this first half play. The Elks dominating, slipping up here and there, but overall playing a good game as Hawk almost gets another touch on the punt. Griffith fielding that a fair catch on the 19-yard line of the Centerville Elks. Hawk has been in on each and every play. Almost coming up with another big block. He had a big block earlier on in the game where Chris Mitchell picked that one up and ran back for 3 yards for a touchdown. So A.J. Hawk going my pick of Defensive Player of the Week so far.
3 weeks in a row. The man is amazing. Doing an excellent job as a freshman to pick up a leadership position the way he did, the way his brother did as he was a freshman. You don't see that very often. Right now he's my pick too also, Matty.
That's right. It's Houston giving the ball right up to go to the Beaver defense, and he's going to get and there's a fumble on the field. There's a big pile up at about the 27-yard line. Looks like the Elks are going to come up with that one. And the Elks a little bit lucky. They're gaining more yardage than they would have had if Huston would have been brought down on the original carry, as he did fumble the ball, upfield a little bit.
That ball was shot upfield, 5 or 6 yards.
Backing for the Elks with his little hookup out there on the far side of the field, Frankie Robbins. They did connect a few times last week as well as the week before. So the Elks out on the line, but wishbone formation right now with Bailey and Robbins at the wide receiver and quarterback positions, respectively.
Bailey and Robbins, as we said, the hookup of the future for the Elks. We'll see if they can do it again.
And the ball is given to, I'm not sure who that is, one of the Elk backs who gets more than enough for the first down, That's Jason Griffith getting out to about the 39-yard line with a good play there by Bailey. Bailey had me fooled up here in the booth, did not know quite who he gave it to, but the Elks getting more than enough for the first down.
The Elks are doing an excellent job this year. All the quarterbacks, Hawk passes down whatever he does, right, to these younger players on how to confuse the heck out of us and the defensive team. I've never seen such a great fake in my life.
As Ailes goes into motion, he's going to cut back and get this ball and trying to cut him back up the middle, and he's wrapped up by the Beaver defense there. Number 34 for the Beavers. Excuse me, there's no 34 for the Beavers, but number 32 for the Beavers. Caleb Pulliam to make the stop for the Beavers after a gain of about 4 yards on the play.
1:29, clock ticking away here. Your Centerville Elks are up 35-0. It brings up a 2nd and 6 situation for the Elks.
Willie McLean split out wide of the near side of the field as Bailey still in at the quarterback position. Griffith goes into motion, ball given to Ailes. Ailes trying to find some yardage right up the middle of the field, and there's a flag down on the play, but Ailes gets a gain of 3 or 4 yards on the play. No word from the officials just yet of what the flag is. Could be something on the Elk offense, perhaps some type of holding penalty. The Elks played by penalties last week. Need to go mistake-free, and this one is going to be against the Elks. Going to drive them all the way back to the original line of scrimmage, or just past it, excuse me. And not a good job right there by the Elks.
No, not at all. You just say, these little mistakes. I was hoping that the Elks this week in practice would go through and correct as many of these mistakes as possible. And they've done a better job on the penalty side, but now they've got a turnover problem.
And the ball given to Griffith. Griffith cuts back up the middle of the field. He is quickly hit, and he is just shy of the first down marker. He is hit there by number 42, Yanti Hall for the Beavers. And just shy of the first down, going to bring up a 3rd and 1 for the Elks with 47 seconds remaining in this first half of play. The Elks are up by a score of 35-0. It looks like the Beavers...
Centerville calls the timeout on that one. 47 seconds left for Centerville Elks up over the Beavercreek Beavers.
Tell him we sent you. And you know what? He'll hook you up with all the best performance and, he'll hook you up with style points. That's the most important thing. He'll get style points from all the things that he can do to improve the image of your car.
Who cares what's inside as long as you look good?
That's right.
That's my philosophy in life in general. People tell me I'm wrong, but no, I'm telling you, that's the way to go. I know all of you listeners out here in the stands, on your way in, notice the several cars out right as you walk through the gates. That is one-stop auto salon work right there.
As Bailey takes a snap, gives the ball to Ailes. Ailes wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage right away by the Beaver defense. Tim Blatz and another Beaver defender in on the stop. Don Blair also there to make the stop for the Beavers, as that's going to bring up a 4th and 3 for the Elks with 30 seconds remaining. Looks like they're just going to go for this one. As Griffith goes into motion, the ball given to Ailes. Once again, Ailes brought down, but just after he passes the line of scrimmage, it's going to be another first down for the Elks. He just crossed into Beaver territory, so nice job there by Elks, refusing to go down until he got the first down.
Stopping the clock for just a few seconds here. It's back running again with 18 seconds left. Elks hoping to get a couple more plays off here.
Ailes goes into motion, the ball given to Griffith. Griffith has nowhere to run to as he is wrapped up, and it's going to be another fumble on the Elks. Looks like the exchange between Bailey and Griffith was another bad one, and he gave the ball to the Beavers with 7 seconds remaining. The Elks plagued by turnovers tonight. That is their 3rd fumble of the game, and this one coming on a bad exchange between Griffith and Bailey, maybe some sort of a miscommunication. Going to give the Beavers 7 seconds to try and, put one big play together and try and get it in the end zone to get some points on the board before they go in the locker room.
Matt, we haven't seen it in the past games that these younger players have played, but you got to expect that out of some of these guys. It's going to happen sometime. You're going to see the few situations where you have the messed up, you know, most of these guys probably don't get a whole lot of playing time with Griffith, the starters. I mean, they don't get a whole lot of time working with them. They work with their other second stringers, the guys will be working with in the future.
It's better now than later on in the season, though, as Lawrence steps back in the pocket, lofts a big pass out to the far sideline, just out of the reach of Chris Grant as time expires on the clock. And so your Centerville Elks are up by a score of 35-0 at the end of the first half of play. Stay tuned just after this short break for Adam Kiefaber and the coach, homecoming king candidate Jason Mitchell's famous halftime show. You are listening to Elks football, brought to you by the One Stop Bottle Salon right here on 101.5 WCWT. To receive for the Beavers will once again be Shannon Taylor, Justin Newland, and Mike Longstreet. So the Beavers are going to try and get something started early on in this game. Early on in this second half. Here I go. I'm just an idiot. But early on in the second half, so they can try and spark something, you know, to help them later on in this game. As I assume their defensive team is very, very tired right now, as the Elks offensive team has been out on the field much of the game. And Nugent's going to send this one fairly deep back into Beaver territory, going to be fielded by Newland at the 11-yard line. Newland trying to cut up the middle of the field, trying to find some room to run to. Woods one tackler, and he's finally brought down by the Centerville Elks special teams unit, Josh Kneidl, in to make the stop for the Elks, as some personnel changes going on right now, and the Elks need to step up their play right now.
They do need to step up their play. You know, they're up by 35 points, and a lot of people say, you know, well, that's, you know, why do you want them to run all over the team? They don't have to run all over the team, you know, run up the score or anything. They just need to play effectively. And, you know, I don't care if they move the ball down the field, stop at the 1-yard line, and, you know, go 3 and out, be done.
That's right. And Lawrence takes a snap, and before the play can get underway, there's a flag on the play. And back to what you were saying, Chip, the Elks don't have to run all over this Beavercreek team, but they would like to come out and play a mistake-free performance.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the kind of thing that they're going to have to do to beat the Wayne, to beat the Springfield South. So the Elks need to work on these things in order to help them out later on the season. And there's a penalty right there on the Beavers. It's going to bring up a first and 15 with 11:53 remaining in this third quarter play. Mistakes on the offensive side of the ball for the Beavers has been quite costly tonight. When they've gotten a little momentum, it's been taken away by penalties, as one man in motion for the Beavers, the ball handed right up the gut of the Centerville defense. Fisher trying to get some yardage, but he's not going to get anything. Right there, he probably got a loss of a couple of yards on the play. Keel Fisher, ball carrier for the Beavers.
Yeah, Matty, you were talking back to what we were talking about before, saying, you know, that the Springfield Souths and the Waynes, as we were talking, the Elks are just one slot away in their region for picking up a playoff spot, head on to the playoffs, postseason play. And I'll tell you what, those mistakes are not going to go over well in state play. Some of those teams from Cincinnati and Cleveland are tough teams. They cannot have those mistakes.
As the handoff goes to Fisher once again, he's quickly wrapped up at the line of scrimmage by the Centerville Elk defense. Almost every one of the players right in on the stop for the Elks, as Fisher trying to cut out to the far side of the field, had no room to work with, and eventually just brought down at the line of scrimmage. Going to bring up a 3rd and 13 for the Beavers with 11 minutes remaining. The Elks are up by a score of 35-0 over the Beavercreek Beavers. And Elks football is brought to you by the One Stop Auto Salon right here on the Beef. One Stop Auto Salon can deal with anything as far as performance or improving the looks of your car. So give them a call, 438-8023. Aaron Lawrence bringing his team back up to the line of scrimmage. One wideout split out to the far side of the field. 2 in the backfield. The ball is given to Mike Longstreet. Longstreet throwing his feet. Woods one tackler is quickly hit by Ailes. Ailes laying his shoulders down into his legs and stopping him for a gain of no yards on the play. Going to bring up a 4th and 13 for the Beavers. Looks like they're going to punt this one away to the Elks.
Elks defense coming out strong here in the second half, letting up none at all for the Beavercreek Beavers offense. In fact, pushing them back 3 yards overall on the drive. They're going to punt it away and give the ball back to the Elks. Hopefully the Elks can come out and play a mistake-free second half and show that they're capable of doing it.
That's right, and Ben Venable to punt this away for the Beavers sends a nice spiraling kick, driving Griffith all the way back to his own 27-yard line. Fields there, looking for some room to run to. Tries to cut up the middle of the field. He's quickly stopped by the Beavercreek special teams unit. Number 31, I believe, Nick Haywood for the Beavers. Number 10 for the Beavers, Nick O'Dean, to make the stop for the Beavers. Griffith only got a couple yards on the play. He was driven well back into his own end of the field on that kick. Venable has quite a strong leg.
He didn't show it off the first couple kicks. First one straight up in the air, but stepping it up and playing real well, getting the ball back for the Elks, or deep back into Elks territory. The first couple times this season that Griffith has had to call a fair catch.
And the fake off to Houston. Hawk decides to keep himself, cuts back up the sideline. Still on his feet, got one man to beat, Justin Newland. Newland trying to muscle Hawk down. Hawk finally brought down on the 21-yard line of Beavercreek. Hawk had the entire field to work with. Fake the handoff to Houston. Houston doing a nice job of pulling the defense to him. Hawk had all kinds of time out on the sideline and busted up the line for about 30, 40, about 50 yards on the run. So a nice QB sneak there, or an option run there by Hawk.
Exactly. I think Hawk was really hoping that DeVito could have been up there to make that final block. Hawk would have had a touchdown. Hawk just a bit faster than DeVito. DeVito a big guy, but still an excellent job by the Elks offense.
And the ball's given to Houston. Houston wrapped up. Excuse me, it's not given to Houston. It's fake to Houston, given to Griffith. Griffith still on his feet, and finally brought down a yard behind the line of scrimmage. Griffith fooling us all up here in the booth. As he had the ball cutting out to the far side of the field, couldn't get any yardage there.
Excellent job by the Elks offense, even though not picking up any yards, in fact losing yards. But Griffith, I got to be impressed by that never give up attitude. Driving, giving it, no matter what, he's still going to try to keep the ball moving upfield.
That's right. Carpenter goes into motion to the near side of the field. Hawk fakes a handoff, decides to keep himself. Actually, he's pitching it out to Carpenter. Carpenter has a little bit of room, and he's finally tripped up on the near side sideline by the Beavercreek defense. Justin Newland on the stop for the Beavers. So Hawk looked like he was going to keep it himself, decided to pitch it out to Carpenter. Got a few yards on the play, going to bring up a 3rd and a 5 for the Elks in this first drive of the second half.
You want to get hooked up with all the same information that Maddie and I use up here in the booth, head to elksfootball.com on the World Wide Web. That is where we get all our information. It's an excellent site, one of the few high school football sites. It's dedicated completely to Centerville High School football. Excellent information there at elksfootball.com.
Hawk takes a snap, rolling out to the far side of the field, trying to pass, and he has one man out on the far side sideline. It's caught by J.D. Kennard at the 5-yard line. Going to be enough for the first down. Going to move the chains. Going to give the Elks a 1st and goal. Kennard at one step in front of his man out on the far side sideline. Hawk doing a good job rolling out and throwing on the run. So the Elks move the chains once again with 8:06 remaining in this 3rd quarter.
Elks coming back out with a passing offense as they did at the very beginning of the game. It was very successful. Then went to more of a ground game. They're headed back to this. Maybe this is more successful for the Elks this time.
As Hawk takes a snap, pitches to Carpenter. Carpenter cuts back up the middle of the field, has a little bit of room, and he's finally just tripped up on the near side of the field by the Beavercreek defense. Just barely. He had one man to beat, and that was number 20, Brian Lee, getting a little bit of a hand on his leg there and just tripping up Carpenter before he could get just past the 5-yard line.
Listen to the best of the best every Saturday from 3 to 6 with Mike and Shane as they play the best of the best classic and modern rock here on WCWT 101.5.
As Hawks in the has the offense in the wishbone formation, the ball given to Griffith. Griffith goes right at the gut of the Beavercreek defense, and he got in for the score for the Centerville Elks. Griffith is showing a great explosiveness off the line as he went into that hit and refused to go down. Went into the end zone for another score for the Centerville Elks. So the Elks go up by a score of 41-0 with 7:15 remaining in this 3rd quarter of play. Griffith, great job, showed great explosiveness right there when he went into that hit and just drove that man right back in the end zone for the score.
Elks football on 101.5 is brought to you by the One Stop Auto Salon. The One Stop Auto Salon is located on State Route 48 behind the Women's Air and Space Museum.
Nugent puts another one through the uprights for the Elks as he has connected on all 6 of his point after attempts tonight. And he's been looking very, very strong thus far in the season. So they cannot make big mistakes like that and expect to win. As Nugent's going to send this one away to Beavercreek's a low bouncing kick across the field, fielded by the 2 Beavercreek players bouncing to each other. Griffith in on the pile right there. Griffith couldn't have come up with the ball on that play. The Elks signaling that it is their ball. Tommy Demko over there, and a few of them jumping up and down as Griffith made a great play to get to that ball as it was laying on the floor. 63 there, 62. Chris Stacy for the Beavers, along with another Beavercreek player, collided with each other on the far side of the field, and Griffith, using incredible speed, got to that ball first. Perhaps muscled it away from them, and the Elks come up with very, very good field position.
That was a mistake by the Beavercreek Beavers right there. That was not a miscommunication. I know we were taught back in my days of football, you dive on that ball. Big guys aren't meant to run the football back. You dive on it, you get on it, no mistakes. You can't lose it. You don't have to worry about hands. Just lay on the ball.
Hawk takes one quick step back in the pocket, fires out to the near side sideline, just over the head of J.D. Kennard. Griffith also in the vicinity of that throw, and that's going to be another incomplete pass for Ryan Hawk, as there is a flag down on the play. Possibly some sort of penalty, looks like pass interference call on the Beavercreek Beavers. So Kennard not able to get to that ball, possibly because of the coverage on him. So that's going to bring up a first down, I believe, for the Elks, deep into Beavercreek territory, and the Elks are looking to put another one up on the board before the end of this third quarter.
You know, back all the way to the kickoff, we got away from things a little bit, and Griffith put his life on the line there, just throwing his body towards that ball. Two larger Beavercreek players that collided were just within inches of that ball, but Griffith sliding his body underneath their bodies as they were falling on the ball. Excellent job by Griffith. I wanted to make sure he got the good job, pat on the back for that one.
As Hawk lines up, takes a snap, fakes a handoff, rolls out to the far side of the field. He's looking downfield, he's going to take it himself, cuts back up the middle of the field, he's got one man to meet, hurdles into the end zone for a score, and he fumbles the ball, actually. Hawk trying to dive into the end zone, and is picked up by the Elks. Looks like Josh Carpenter picking up that fumble from Ryan Hawk. Hawk looked like he was in the end zone, kind of jumped up in the air, tried to hurdle into the end zone, lost the ball in the air, picked up by Carpenter. Carpenter there to put it back in the end zone for the Elks. So the Elks go up by a score of 48-0 with 6:53 remaining in this third quarter of play.
Hawk having a lot of problems with the hands tonight. That's got to be a big concern for the Elks coaches. I know they're up 48-0 right now. You know, they're still scoring and they're still playing well, but that's got to be a big concern for the Elks coaches right now.
That's right. That's the fifth fumble on the night for the Elks, as Nugent puts another one up and through the uprights for the Centerville Elks, bringing them up by a score of 49-0 with 6:53. I'd like to mention that Nugent is 7 of 7 on the. It's amazing what he can do to your car. So give him a call, 438-8023, and just see what he can do for you. As Kennard takes this kick, a nice high kick, driving Newland all the way back to the 5-yard line. Newland fields it and running right up the gut of the Centerville fence. Kennard, the last man, tries to bring Newland down. He does at the 50-yard line. Newland had one man to beat. Now it's Kennard. Kennard standing right dead center in the middle of the field, and just couldn't get by Kennard. Kennard, quite a big fellow, and refusing to shy away from that tackle, brought him down and had pretty much a touchdown-saving tackle on that one.
Got some updated scores for you guys out there. Springfield South up 14-7 over Fairmont. That's a close game. Could possibly turn into an upset. Another close one. Wayne up over Xenia 14-7. I know Xenia was winning up through halftime there. It's now in the third quarter. Wayne has stepped up just a little bit over Xenia.
As Lawrence takes a snap and hands the ball to Fisher. Fisher trying to run right up the gut of the Centerville defense. Gets a gain of about 4 yards on the play. Going to bring up a 2nd and 7. Sorry, that was a gain of 3 yards on the play with 6:31 remaining in this third quarter. The Elks are up by a score of 49-0. The Elks looking very, very strong, but have been hampered by a few mistakes here and there, such as 5 fumbles on the night. Not something that you see out of the Elks, 2 by Ryan Hawk alone. Hawk fortunate enough to have Carpenter pick one up and run in for a touchdown on the last drive. As Lawrence takes a snap, hands the ball to Fisher. Fisher trying to run right up the gut of the center of the fence. Once again, refusing to go down, and a number of Elk players there to bring him down just after a gain of 4 yards on the play. Going to bring up a 3rd and 2, I believe, or 3, I believe, for the Beavers with 5:55 remaining in this third quarter of play. If you're ever on the World Wide Web and you want to check out anything about the Centerville Elks football team, just type in elksfootball.com, and that'll take you to the Elks football webpage. This webpage is devoted completely to the Elks football program, as anything from stats and scores to scouting report for upcoming games. Remember, that's elksfootball.com on the World Wide Web. As Beavercreek has one man in motion and a flag flies before the snap, as might be some kind of a motion penalty here on Beavercreek, and it's going to be an offsides against the Elks. So it's going to give the Beavers a 1st and 10 on the Centerville Elk 38-yard line, I believe. That's a big penalty for the Elks. The Elks hoping to iron out a few of these penalties in the second half, so that they can improve on that in the later weeks of the season.
One more score for you here. Switching a little bit of areas of play here. The Indians up over the New York Yankees 2-1 in the bottom of the third in the ALCS. It's a big thing for everybody around here. Indians always a local favorite.
as Fisher gets the ball once again, running right up the gut of the Centerville defense, and gets a gain of about 3 yards on the play. Going to bring up a 2nd and 7 for the Beavers. Fisher's getting a lot of work tonight, trying to muscle his way right up the middle of the Elk defense, and he has gotten quite a few yards tonight here against the Elks.
With 4:41 left in the clock, ticking away here in the third quarter, your Centerville Elks are up 49-0 over the Beavercreek Beavers. Brings up a 2nd and 6 situation for the Beavercreek offense.
As the Beavers have one man in motion to the far side of the field, Lawrence takes a snap, drops back in the pocket, fakes the handoff, rolls out to the far side of the field, has a little bit of room to run to, and he is knocked down just shy of the 30-yard line out on the far side sideline by the Centerville Elk defense. I do not believe that's going to be enough for the first down. I think it's going to bring up a 3rd and 2 for the Beavers with 4:11 remaining in the third quarter play. The Elks are up by a score of 49-0, dominating right now this Beaver team that was, hoping to come out and play strong and play well tonight, but we have not seen everything there for the Beavers tonight.
Do you want to boogie down on Saturday nights without even leaving your house? All you have to do is tune into 101.5 from 8 to 10 p.m. and listen to Reggae Our Way with Luke Dogg and Little Mac on 101.5 WCWT.
As the Beavers have one split out wide to the near side of the field, that is Chris Grant, and before the play can get underway, the Elks jump off sides. A number of Elk defensive linemen jumping off sides. A few of them pointing over the Beavercreek offensive line, saying they could have started a bit early on the play, and it's going to be a false start against the Beavers. So the Beavers, once again, moving down the field, and they are just marching themselves right back where they started with a number of penalties.
I want to send out congratulations and lots of luck to the girls golf team of Centerville High School. Allison Couch, Brett Johnson, Shelly Goins, Kara Huff, and Amanda Gargano are 16-2 on the season. They're sectional champs and Southwest Girls League co-champs. 2 first-team players and 2 second-team players.
As Lawrence takes the snap, fakes the handoff, drops back in the pocket, fires the pass over the middle of the field, caught by one of the Beavercreek wide receivers, and he's brought down by A.J. Hawk at the 15-yard line. It's going to be more than enough for the first down, so the Beavers move the ball down the field. Nice job there by Lawrence to step back, keep his poise in the pocket. He was rushed a bit, and he could have possibly been hit after the throw, but did make the completion over the middle of the field against the Centerville Elk defense.
Back to the girls golf there. They next Friday head to Columbus, the gray course of Ohio State, for a 36-hole tournament. The state tournament led by Coach Larry Budich. They will be facing teams from Wilmington, Ursuline, and Ursula, hoping to pull that off and win the state championship for girls golf.
As the Beavers have one man in motion, ball given to Fisher right up the Centerville defense. He got nowhere to go as he's wrapped up after a gain of about 2 or 3 yards on the play. Going to bring up a 2nd and I believe 7 for the Beavers as time continues to wind down here in the third quarter play. And changing gears a bit, as Chip was talking about the girls golf team, we were wishing them good luck at state. A number of other sports here at the high school, such as girls volleyball. The girls volleyball team ranked 20th in the state right now, 2nd in the area behind Chaminade Julian, and they are taking a 17-1 record into Monday night's game against C-Day. Going to be a big game as Hall takes a snap, bounces back in the pocket, and throws out to the near side of the field to a wide open Mike Longstreet, who gets in the end zone for a score. And the officials are going to signal him down just in front of the goal line. Looks like his knee hit the ground just before he got in the end zone. Longstreet making a good effort to try and get in the end zone, but it's not going to be enough. His knee or something.
Excellent job by Ailes to shut him down. His knee did touch the ground just before the end zone, and close call there. Beavercreek didn't argue it at all. They just barely down. Good job by Ben Ailes there to stop him. Let's see if the Beavers can put it in for a score. They've been hindered by penalties all night. When they start showing some effectiveness, they get slowed down by penalties. Let's see if they can do something with this.
Beavers got one wide out the near side of the field, Chris Grant, 2 in the backfield, as Lawrence gives the ball right at the gut of the Centerville defense, and that's going to be good for a touchdown for the Beavercreek Beavers. So the Beavers put one in late in this third quarter play with 1:27 remaining. The Elks are up by a score of 49-6 over the Beavercreek Beavers. Beavers trying to get back in this game. It's not really probable, but they'd like to finish the game on a strong note so that they can go into their next game. NWL action as the Beavercreek special teams unit out on the field to take this extra point attempt. It looks like number 5, Craig Ward, to take the kick for the Beavers. Aaron Lawrence to hold.
Elks football on 101.5 is brought to you by the One Stop Auto Salon.
As Lawrence awaits a snap, Good snap and a low kick. That's going to go just over the crossbar, through the uprights. So the Beavercreek Beavers put the score on the board, and they still trail about Wayne, probably the two strongest teams other than the Elks in the league right now, as Craig Ward lining up to take this kick for the Beavers. Back to receive for the Elks will be Jason Griffith and J.D. Kennard, and it's going to be an onside kick, and it's going to bounce out of bounds on the 44-yard line of the Elks. However, there is a flag down on the play, a number of flags, and we're going to wait to see what the officials have to say about this one.
It looks to be an offsides on the kicking team. I have a feeling one of those guys was just a bit ahead of the ball. We're going to wait here and see what happens.
And looks like the Beavers are going to have to kick this one off again. With just 1:27 remaining in this third quarter play, the Elks are up by a score of 49-7 over the Beavercreek Beavers in this third WOL game of the year. The Elks 2-0 so far in the WOL season, looking to go 3-0 tonight with a win over Beavercreek. And the rest of the league, there's a couple upsets in the making tonight, as Xenia is up over Wayne right now, I believe, in the second quarter.
No, Wayne is back up over Xenia. It's all right.
They weren't early going, and they were showing signs of, potentially pulling off an upset tonight. We don't know how that game is going right now, but Wayne was up, I guess, the last time we checked.
14-7 last time I checked. Just a few minutes ago, going into the third quarter, I believe. But that's another thing. I mean, maybe we're just lying. Maybe Wayne and South, maybe they could both lose tonight, and the Elks could be well on their way to a fairly easy championship. But you never know. They're both not playing to what we've seen them play in the past couple weeks. I know Xenia, not a real strong team, and Fairmont, as you've seen, not a real strong team. But keeping up with Wayne and Springfield South.
That's right. As Craig Ward's kick is a low bouncing kick, it's going to bounce out to the 30-yard line, fielded by Griffith there. He's going to be looking to cut back on the near side sideline. Has a little room to run with. He's got one man to beat. That's the kicker, Ward, and he lays a hit right there, and he's knocked out of bounds by Craig Ward. Ward not shying away from that one. Not the biggest guy on the team, only standing 5'9", 170, but not afraid to go away from it. Jason Griffith. Griffith knocked out of bounds at the Beavercreek 36-yard line, so the Elks will start with a very, very good field position with a 1st and 10 on the Beavercreek 36-yard line with 1:17 remaining in the third quarter.
Craig Ward, like you said, not the biggest guy, but Griffith laid a hit on him. Definitely pushed him right out of the way, and then penalty flag on the play at just about midfield there, and the Elks are going to get pushed way, way back into their own territory.
That's another huge mistake by the Centerville Elks. Not something that they want to see right now. They would have had very, very good field position on that last play right there. It's going to be a clip on the Elks. So the Elks they're not starting out with very bad field position right now, but they could have started off a lot better as Ailes goes into motion on the far side of the field. Hawk takes the snap, gives the ball to Houston. Houston trying to find some room out on the far side of the field. He breaks out to the far side sideline, gets enough for the first down, and he's finally driven out of bounds at the Beavercreek 46-yard line. So Houston coming back on that next play and getting most of it back as the Elk offense moves the chains.
That's one thing the Elk offense does well. When they're pushed back for whatever reason, whether it's a penalty, there's a sack, they always tend to make it up right away. They aren't going to settle for sticking back there and work on. They're going to move it as soon as they can. Move that ball right up past to get the first down. Last week, I know they got 2 3rd and 30 situations and they pulled them both off.
As Redlin goes in motion, Hawk rolls out the near side of the field and throws a pass to Redlin. It's going to be in and out of his hands. He couldn't just hold on to that one about the 42-yard line, and Hawk rolled out to the near side of the field, tried to throw on the run and couldn't quite complete that one to Redlin. Hawks had a fairly good night, however, with his passing game, completing on a number of good passes. In the first half, he did have a touchdown pass to J.D. Kennard from about 30 yards, so the Elks' passing game looking very good right now. As Hawk has 2 wideouts, one on each side of the field, Ray Houston in the backfield. He's under center calling his shots. Redlin goes into motion, and he fakes the handoff, decides to keep himself, tries to cut right back up the middle of the field, and gets a gain of 4 yards on the play. Going to bring up a 3rd and 6 for the Elks with 53 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Centerville Elks are up 49-7 over the Beavercreek Beavers. That only the second touchdown that the opposing team has scored on us in a WL game. Fairmont picked up 6 points in the first WL game of the season, Beavercreek being only the second team to score on the Elks from the WL, excuse me. We've been scored on.
As before the play can even get on the way is stopped short by an official's timeout. Not sure why.
I know you're saying that it's coming close and it kind of seems odd. Those boys have been working hard tonight. They've been, they're playing a tough Elks offense, and they've definitely had to give it all they've got, whether it be much at all. They've been working hard out there. They've been on the field most of the time. The Elks the officiating crew, not that they're ours, seem to be discussing something at midfield there. Both teams ready to roll, it looks like, but they're still standing there, hanging out.
Elks football on WCW TV 101.5 is brought to you by the One Stop Auto Salon. The One Stop Auto Salon runs just out of the heart of Centerville. Give them a call 438-8023 to improve the performance or the looks of your car. As Hawk is under center right now, and he steps back in the pocket, fakes the handoff, rolling out to the near side of the field, looking downfield, and lost a big pass over the middle to number 15, J.D. Kennard. Kennard makes the catch in the end zone for a touchdown for the Elks. So Kennard had a half a step or two right there in front of his defender, and Hawk did a very good job of rolling out to the near side of the field, stopping and throwing a nice pass right over the middle of the field to Kennard. Kennard making the catch, putting the Elks up by a score of 55-7 with 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Excellent job by both sides of the ball there. That's our hookup of present right now. We've talked about the hookups of the future. But Kennard this year and last year, Kennard and Hawk all over it. That was a big play. And excellently executed by the Elks.
As Nugent's point after attempt is good once again. He is 8 for 8 on the night, so he puts the Elks up by a score of 56-7 with 20 seconds remaining. And just going back to what Chip said just a second ago, if I had a plug series. And I'm sorry, I need to make a correction. Standing back in for Shannon Taylor will be Yante Hollis. Kennard sends a nice kick up the middle of the field. It's going to be fielded by Newland at the 12-yard line. Looking for some room to run to right at the middle of the field. He's quickly brought down by the Centerville Elks special teams unit at the 24-yard line. So the Elks doing a good job not letting him break up field and get that yardage that he got on the last play. Kennard, on the last kick, Kennard stopping Newland at the 45-yard line. On the last kick, saving a touchdown, should I say, because he was the last man back for the Elks.
And both our kickers, Mike Nugent, J.D. Kennard, excellent job. I know we say it week in and week out, but they do an excellent job of doing that. They're not afraid to get in front of the player, and Nugent's not afraid to get downfield and get the player, be the first guy to get the player.
As Stahl and Grant split out wide for the Beavers. And one Beaver goes into motion as the ball is given off to Fisher. Fisher stopped just as he passes the line of scrimmage. Good job there by the Elk defense to wrap him up and bring him down before he could get any yardage upfield.
If you're looking for the best rock and roll, tune in every Friday at 4 to the Beef Stew, where Adam and Mike will mix up the best ingredients into their beef stew.
And that's going to do it for the third quarter play out here at Centerville High School Football Stadium. The Elks are up by a score of 56-7 over the Beavercreek Beavers. You are listening to Elks Football here at Centerville High School Football Stadium, where your Centerville Elks are up by a score of 56-7 over the Beavercreek Beavers. And this homecoming game here tonight, the Elks, want to finish this one out strong. It is their homecoming game. Big game for the Elks as Aaron Lawrence steps back in the pocket, lost a big pass out to the near side sideline. Chris Grant nowhere in the vicinity. That was the intended receiver. Wrapped up nicely by Jason Griffith and Mike Delaney, the Elks. Defensive backs right there doing a good job of wrapping him up and not letting him get downfield to get that ball.
He wasn't anywhere close. The ball was thrown maybe 10 to 15 yards over his head. Good job by the Elks defense to shut him down.
That's right. Lawrence trying to lead this Beaver Creek team back down the field to try and put another score up on the board before the end of this game. The Beavers, most likely will not come out with a win in this one, but they'd like to finish strong going into next week. As the Elks are showing a little bit of blitz, they do now back off as Longstreet goes into motion. It looks like Lawrence had a little bit of trouble there, and he rolls out the far side of the field, decides to keep himself, and he's hit there by the Elks defense, but not after a gain of about 4 yards on the play. And it's still going to bring up a 4th and 5 for the Beavers with 11:42. Looks like they're going to probably try to punt this one away.
Got some scores here from you. WL, Wayne up over Xenia, still 14-7 in the third quarter. Springfield South now stepping it up and blowing away Fairmont 36-7. At half it was 14-7. The third quarter being very strong for Springfield South.
As Ben Venable backed up on the way for the Beavers. He's had a number of good kicks tonight and sends another long one back to Griffith. Griffith fields at about the 27-yard line. Quickly pressured by the Beavercreek special teams unit. He's brought down at the Centerville 29-yard line. Vince Baker and a number of others trying to give Griffith some blocks so he can run upfield, but he didn't have much room on that last kick as there's only 11:08 remaining in this game.
Another state powerhouse, Valley View, as we talked about earlier, stepping up in the third quarter and just shutting down Northridge, making it 26-0 now. At the half, they were up 11-0. Third quarter, they've stepped up and put a lot of points on the board.
And looks like the Elks are going to start off with fairly good field position right now. They got 3 wideouts, 2 split out to the near side of the field, 1 on the far side of the field. Looks like Adam Newton in the backfield for the Elks. He takes a snap and he is driven back behind the line of scrimmage. Newton, a tough, powerful guy for the Elks, showed a lot of explosiveness off the line last week for the Elks, as it looks like the Elks are starting to rotate some of the younger guys in to give them some of that playing time. Nick Redlin into quarterback for the Elks at this moment.
Maddie, changing focus here a little bit. I know this past week the boys varsity soccer brackets came out for the state playoffs. Who are the Elks matched up with?
The Elks have a first-round bye, and they're going to play their entire tournament at home. As Ailes takes a snap and tries to go right up the gut of the Beavercreek defense, gets a game of maybe a yard on the play. And back to what you were saying, Chip, the Elks drew a very good pool this time. They were the number 1 seed in their bracket, and they drew a first-round bye, and they will face the winner of Stebbins and, I believe, Meadowdale for their first game at home. So the Elks have a very good chance of getting out of that sectional tournament with a win, where they will have to meet, probably, if it goes as planned, Beavercreek in the semifinals of that tournament. So that would be a big game. As Redlin takes a snap, rolling out the near side of the field, passes to the near side sideline over the head of William McLean. William McLean had no chance at that one. Playing stand at about the 44-yard line for the Elks. Redlin just overthrew him. He had him open on the near side sideline.
Number 32, Caleb Pulliam, putting a lot of pressure on Hawk, getting right in his face and taking him down to the ground. Or Redlin, excuse me. I'm just so used to the big man being in there. But putting a lot of pressure on him. Redlin getting the pass away, though.
As looks like Kennard's going to come out and kick this one away for the Elks. The Elks are faced with a 4th and 9 with 9:58 remaining in this game. The Elks are up by a score, and that's another high snap for the Elks. Kennard gathers that one, gets the kickoff, fielded by Newland. Newland quickly wrapped up as he catches the ball by Ben Ailes. Ailes bringing him down about the 34-yard line of the Beavercreek Beavers. Kennard had a tough time trying to bring that snap down, but he did get the kickoff under pressure.
Exactly. It was that was way up in the air. Kennard, luckily a very tall guy, picking that ball off, bringing it down. And another excellent job by penalty flag on the play. But another excellent job by Ben Ailes. He was going for nothing but a ball strip there. He wanted to pull off the fumble as he did last week off the quarterback. And this time going for the returner, going for nothing but the strip. Didn't get it, but excellent job by Ben.
And Beavercreek, another crucial mistake here in the late going of this game. They would have started with decent field position, but they drive themselves all the way back to their own 19-yard line, where they will have a 1st and 10 with 9:49 remaining. The Elks are by a score of 56-7 over this visiting Beavercreek Beaver team, as Aaron Lawrence under center calling his shots right now. He has Brent Bowledge in motion, gives the ball to him. He's running out to the near side sideline. He is knocked hard out of bounds by AJ Hawk. Hawk just, looking like a bad self, walking over the sideline, making sure that he knew he did knock him out of bounds. Hawk had a nice hit on that last play there.
Hawk, as you know, we talked about a couple of times last week, some major hits. You can see the hitting stripes just developing on this guy's helmet. He's picked up 2 or 3, I can see from up here now, and that'll pick up another.
As Hawk had a very, very good hit. Looks like, Ryan Bartledge was not going upfield very much, but Hawk wanted to make sure he knew he was there, and just laid a nice hit out on him on the near side sideline as Aaron Lawrence pitches the ball out to Fisher, not getting much yardage upfield, does get a gain of a couple yards on the play down at about the Centerville or the Beavercreek 21-yard line. Good for a gain of about 3 yards on the play. Going to bring up a 3rd and 7 for the Beavers with 9:27 remaining.
Elks football on 101.5 is brought to you by the One Stop Auto Salon. The One Stop Auto Salon is located on State Route 48, directly behind the Women's Air and Space Museum in the heart of Centerville, Ohio. One Stop Auto Salon does detail work, does aftermarket performance, aftermarket styling. Head to the One Stop Auto Salon for all your automotive needs.
As Lawrence has Mike Stahl split out to the far side of the field, and Chris Grant on the near side sideline. He steps back in the pocket, looking out to the far side of the field, does throw to Stahl. Stahl catches the ball out on the far side sideline and gets just enough for the first down as he's brought down at the Beavercreek 31-yard line Not a bad job there by Stahl running a little short pattern out there on the far sideline. Ball dropping back in the pocket, trying that pass out to the far side.
As odd as this may sound, that was a very crucial play for the defense team of the Beavercreek Beavers, dragging out their break just a little bit more. I know they're getting really worn out in this game. You know, they've been on the field a majority of the time. As much time as this offense can spend out there right now is going to help Beaver Creek's defense a lot.
That's right. Those guys out on the field for the Beaver Creek defense are very, very tired at this point in the game. They've seen a lot of minutes out on the field as Lawrence takes a snap and gives the ball to Fisher. Fisher trying to go right up to the Centerville defense and brought down after a gain of about 8 yards on the play. Gets out to the Beaver Creek 40 or 39-yard line. As time continues to tick off the clock for the Elks as well as the Beavers.
Elks defense starting to move in some of their younger players. A freshman brought up a couple weeks ago, number 90, Chad Fleming, is heading into the game, and a couple other players moving in there, and a little personnel changing in and out. And, get those younger players some time. We've emphasized this a lot, I know, but that's the key to the success for this team this year is that they got varsity time at a young age.
That's right, and Aaron Bailey's firing his shots out right now. Chris Grant split out wide to the far side of the field. Ball given to Fisher. Fisher finds a hole on the offensive line and gets just enough for the first down. That's going to bring up a 1st and 10 for the Beavers on their own 42-yard line with 7:37 remaining. And back to what you were saying there, Chip, the Elks team today is what they are because they got the playing time last year. When they were struggling a bit last year, they were working out the kinks and they were trying to improve their game. And this year, a lot of those players are coming back with a lot of varsity experience, which is valuable. I mean, the difference between a reserve game and a varsity game is like a night and day, especially in football. As Lawrence takes a snap, gives the ball to Fisher once again, who gets stopped right at the line of scrimmage. However, there are a number of flags down on the play, so we're going to have to see what it is on this one. And no word from the officials just yet as of what the call was. And it's going to be a holding call on the Beavers. So the Beavers moving the ball down the field, bit by bit right now, but they're moving themselves back into their own end even further with the stupid penalties.
Exactly. That's hindered the Beaver Creek offense all night. And, I really hope that they get that problem worked out in the future. Then they're going to play teams that aren't absolute powerhouses like the Elks. I mean, a lot of the other teams in WL aren't as strong as the Elks or Wayne or Springfield South. But if they get those problems worked out, if they don't get those problems worked out, they're going to be facing a lot of teams that can beat up on them. Every time they try to be effective, they get pulled back, and that just is not good for a team.
That's right. As Chris Grant split out wide to the near side of the field for the Beavers, and 15 in motion for the Beavers as there's a flag on the play before it can get underway. Fisher trying to get out to the far side of the field, wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage by the Elk defense. However, there's another flag on the play, and it's going to be against the Beavers once again. They keep digging themselves a deeper hole here late in the game. As there's only 6 minutes and 38 seconds remaining. And the Elks are up by a score of 56-7. And looking to go with 3-0 WOL. As just to update you a little bit that the girls tennis team here at Centerville has been doing a very fine job this season. Reserve teams ending their season play as varsity moves into the state tournament. They just finished sectionals last weekend, and I believe they are number 1 in the state, and are looking to go for their, their second, I believe, state championship in the past 2 years. So the young lady tennis team looking very, very strong so far. One of the many other fine sports programs found here at Centerville High School. As Aaron Lawrence, that's one man split out to the near side of the field. He steps, fakes the handoff, and he's wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage by number 90 for the Centerville Elks. As one of the freshmen brought up from, the reserve squad, and they're getting a little bit of playing time right there. And he did get a tackle behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to bring up a 3rd and very long for the Beavers with 5:52 remaining.
Now I want to make a comment on your last statement there about another one of the teams strong here from Centerville this year. We are just powerhouse school of athletics this year. I mean, the Elks tend to be strong usually, but this year with the girls tennis on their way to state tournament, girls golf on their way to state, boys golf on their way to state, boys soccer, girls soccer on their way to state, Elks football looking to move their way into the playoffs and hopefully beyond. This is just an absolute powerhouse athletic situation.
And the ball is given to Fisher. Fisher finds a hole in the offensive line. He breaks upfield. He has a couple men pursuing him right now, and he's going to get almost enough for the first down. We're going to have to see where the spot is for the officials. It is so close, however, that I believe the Beavers would even go for it. That was a 3rd and 27. That was just about a 26-yard run for Keel Fisher right there, and they're just going to give him the first down. It's a 27-yard gain on a 3rd and 27 for the Beavercreek Beavers. Is a big play for the Beavers to convert on, and I'd just like to add on that last play, that sack line on the line of scrimmage was hopefully making it a postseason play.
It's really just a confusing system the way it works out. We've got explained to us this week in a fairly normal way. It's easy to understand, but it isn't. It's a lot of numbers, a lot of what if situations, to learn it. It's a complicated system, but the Elks know what they have to do to get this thing done for this season.
And Beavercreek running right up to go to the Centerville defense right there for a gain of about 5 yards on the play. Going to bring up a 2nd and 6 for the Beavers as time continues to wind down in this game. The Elks are by a score of 56-7. And the Beavers looking to press harder down into the Elk territory and try to put another score on the board before the end of this game. As the Beavers line up, the 2 in the backfield, the ball given to number 40 for the Beavers, breaking out to the far side of the field. And he has just a little bit of room to run to, and he's brought down by Paul Moody, another Centerville Elk out there. I believe that was number 32, Aaron Trebnick, on the tackle for the Elks. So the Elks wrapping him up just before he gets the first down marker, going to make a 3rd and short for the Beavers.
Elks football on 101.5 is brought to you by the One Stop Auto Salon. Head to the One Stop Auto Salon for any of your automotive detailing, performance, or aftermarket styling needs. Or call the One Stop Auto Salon at 438-8023. Talk to President Matthew Damron and see what he can do for your car.
That's right, and I can tell you from experience that you will walk away a very happy customer. As looks like Lawrence is going to take the snap himself and just push right up the middle of the Centerville Elk defense and get more than enough for the first down. Going to use the chains once again, stop the clock temporarily. And while this clock is stopped, I'd like to also mention some of the other fine sports programs here at Centerville High School. Boys cross country team ranked 3rd in the state has a meet this weekend, a big meet. They're going to be looking to take down, a number of other teams such as Cincinnati Elder and Xavier, who are ahead of them in the state poll. So the Elks cross country team looking very, very strong this far in the year. Also, the girls team ranked 7th in the state, and both teams are looking to win big here at state this year. As there's a flag down on the play, going to push Beavercreek down back in, deeper down their side of the field, as that was a 5-yard penalty. Going to bring up a 1st and 15 as time continues to tick off the clock.
Centerville Elks up 56-7 over the Beavercreek Beavers. The Elks just playing a dominating game. Not showing as many mistakes in the second half as they did in the first half. Hopefully we work some of those kinks out.
And the ball is handed off to number 15. He's wrapped up quickly behind the line of scrimmage. Going to be dropped back for another loss of 5 yards. Number 11, Dennis Webb, ended the game for the Beavers to try the quarterback position out as Aaron Lawrence takes a seat on the sideline. Also, a number of other players in for the Beavers. Amin Bakare, the ball carrier on the last play, but he was dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Going to bring up a 2nd and 16 for the Beavers with 2:41 remaining in this game. The Elks are up by a score of 56-7 at this point.
Yeah, all right. I get no intro, but this is Adam Keefe. I'm coming in for Chip. All I have to say is to open it up that I have to give congratulations to the Beavercreek fans. Oh man, there's a big play going on.
And I didn't want to cut Adam off there as he was trying to make his big intro, but Keel Fisher busts up the field for a gain of about 10 yards on the play. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 3 for the Beavers with 2:08 remaining.
As I was saying, most of the fans for Beavercreek, which there aren't too many, but they've stayed through the whole game, and it's 56-7 right now. And I mean, there's still some standing. I kudos to the Beavercreek fans, man.
As the many loyal fans that are on the Beavercreek side staying to watch their team.
Many.
As the ball is taken by number 11 for the Beavers, and he decides to keep himself and go off to the far side. Looks like he's going to get just enough for the first down. Actually, they're not going to give him that field position. It's going to be a 4th and short for the Beavers. Dennis Webb taking the ball himself out to the far side of the field and stopped short of the first down marker by the Elks.
Yeah, it looks like some of our 3rd stringers are not doing so great against their 1st string, but hey, looks like it's 4th and 1 right now. I think Beavercreek will go for it here, down 56-7. It's just a guess.
That's right. I believe Beavercreek will go this one. It looks like Beavercreek's starting to rotate some of their younger guys in as Dennis Webb takes the snap himself. Just tries to do the old QB sneak and does get enough for the first down. Going to move the chain, stop the clock temporarily. There's a minute 5 remaining in this game. The Elks are up by a score 56-7. And the Elks dominating on every aspect of the ball tonight, but they did not play mistake-free ball, and that's something that the coaches wanted to see coming into this game, and they didn't quite get it all tonight.
Well, as good as it sounds, mistake-free ball is almost impossible to obtain. But, you know, the Elks are one of those teams that can do it this year. They're a great team. And number 40 for Beavercreek takes it, and he's still on his feet, and he gets dragged down to about the 18-yard line for a good 8-yard gain.
And just a little update right here. South is up over Fairmont 42-14. And is that a final there, Chip? That is a final, so South being victorious over Fairmont tonight as Beavercreek driving deep into Elk territory as there's only 23 seconds remaining. Looks like Beavercreek's going to try and throw up a little desperation pass here to try and put something in the end zone. As Dennis Webb takes the snap, he drops back in the pocket, does throw a pass out to the far side sideline. It's going to be caught by number 20 for the Beavers. There's Ryan Lee. However, there is a flag on the play, as I'm told by Adam Kefever here up in the booth. And we're going to have to see if that penalty is going to bring that one back or if that touchdown is going to stand.
I think it's against Centerville, maybe a defensive holding, as it was thrown in the defensive secondary. And it is. Thank you.
And looks like the Beavers are going to decline that one. They're going to take that touchdown. So the Beavers put one more score up on the board. It is now 56-13. They're going to try and put one through the uprights for the extra point attempt and go away with 14 points on the board. There's only 10 seconds remaining in this game. The Elks are going to come away with their third straight WOL win. They're going to go atop the WOL with a 3-0 with a 56-14 possibly win over the Beavercreek Beavers.
Now improve their record to 5-1, and guess what? The baseball game, Indians 5, Yankees 1, bottom of the 5th. The Indians just hit a 2-run home run, so I just like to say go Tribe and hope to see Indians versus San Diego in the World Series this year. Getting tired of the Braves and Yankees, let me tell you.
As Craig Ward knocks that one wide left of the ump.
Good, man.
Thanks, Adam. As Craig Ford is going to be looking to kick this one away to the Elks. Standing back for the Elks is Brandon Peck.
I don't think they're going to bother with the onside. I think they're just going to do a squib and try to run out as much time as possible and get this over with.
And I believe you're right, Adam, as it bounces off. Number 63 at about the 40-yard line for the Elks is picked up, and he's quickly wrapped up right there at the 40-yard line. Number 63, Nick Markoff for the Elks, as 4 seconds remains on the clock.
Yeah, 4 seconds, man, they might kneel it, but I'm hoping for a bomb. I just want them to run up the score, because that's what I like to see. I like to see our team doing good, and also many of the girls here like to see Matty K, because he's a King nominee. Hey, that's pretty good, Matt.
Is it pretty good? Thanks there, Adam. The Elks might try one little desperation pass here and see what they can do. Maybe possibly Brad Bailey to Frank Robbins.
Doesn't look too good. They only have 2 receivers and 3 running backs.
That's all right, but Bailey takes a snap. Gives the ball to Nugent. Nugent in a running back right now. He's going to be wrapped up as time expires on the clock. So the Elks are going to take away 56-13 win over the Beavercreek Beavers in this third WOL game of the year. For Adam Kefever and Chip Prey, this is Matt Casanovich. You are listening to Elks Football here on The Beef, brought to you by the One Stop Auto Salon. This has been another presentation of Elks Football on 101.5. I'm a freaking idiot. I lost, like I said, this is out, and I was like, so then I was like, okay, another presentation.
Talking about freaking idiot, man. All I can talk about is you looking good.
Did you hear him? Yeah. Did you hear him go, give me this. He goes, we got an update on the Yankees.